Yo Wagwan, hope you are having a great day. In this video, I am going to be reviewing Captain Plugins? Captain Plugins, I think that's what they call it. Captain Plugins, my bad. I was about to say Captain Chords, but I'm reviewing the whole suite of plugins, mainly Captain Chords and Captain Melody. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, marketing and online business, and this is the #1 spot for creatives and musicians that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, this is the place to be. You might want to subscribe, you might want to check out the rest of the content on the channel. Also, since you're a music producer and you want to get better at music theory and making beats and all that sort of stuff, if you want to be able to make beats without knowing a bunch of music theory, you might want to download my free loop pack. Link will be in the description down below. These are 10+ fire trap loops to use in your beats. I think I just said loops instead of loops. Fire trap loops for you to use in your beats. You know, go and use them, make your beats, all that sort of stuff. Or go to jcarteret.com/free loops. Let me know what you think of them. But Captain Chords is a plugin, or Captain Plugins is a suite of plugins that I purchased a few months ago in order to basically speed up my workflow, learn a little bit more about the different types of chords, get better with using different types of chords, get better with music theory, and just make music quicker. So I'm going to let you know how that's worked out for me, if it's worked out, if you should purchase it, if it's worth the price, all that sort of stuff. Now, if you've watched any of my software reviews before, then you know the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to walk through the product page and see if it does what they say that it's supposed to do, and give you a bit of insight into how I use this specific plugin and if it's any good. Now, right about now, I'm on an R&B kick. I want to really make, you know, R&B trap songs, so we're going to be focusing on that in this video. We're probably not going to make a full beat, but I'm going to show you how I would use Captain Chords to create something. Now, or Captain Plugins, Jesus, I keep on saying Captain Chords because that's the main thing that I use, but I do use Captain Melodies as well. And if you don't know, there will be Captain Hooks and Captain, was it Captain Beats or something like that? Was it? I think is it Captain Beats? I'm not 100% sure. What is it? Captain Beat, yeah. Captain Beat should be coming at some point. I don't use Captain Deep because I just don't make bass lines like that. This plugin suite is mainly for electronic pop dance music and that sort of stuff. So if you're making that sort of music, this is a no-brainer really. If you're making trap, R&B, hip-hop, that sort of stuff, then this review is gonna give you a lot of insight into whether this will actually do anything for you. Now, let's go through the page. So we've got, you know, quotes from David Guetta and stuff like that, great stuff. So let's start with Captain Chords. Now, Captain Chords, what they're saying is that, you know, you can write your own chord progressions. Yeah, you can do that in anything. Like, it's not really gonna, you don't need to get a plugin to be able to write chord progressions. You can apply rhythms to your chords. It's a really easy way to do that, and it does make writing your chord progressions really easy. You can set your key and scale for the entire song. This is a great feature because it allows you to always be in key. You can explore different chords and discover your favorite combinations. This is great because it's easy for you to actually try out different chords and see what works and see what doesn't work. Compose music and write your own songs. Yeah, you can do that in pretty much anything. You don't need a plugin for that. And one touch plays three notes with the chords. This is going to be really useful for people who only have a keyboard and they don't have, when I say keyboard, I'm talking about, you know, the typing keyboard with the letters on there, not a MIDI keyboard. And if you don't have access to a MIDI keyboard, a plugin like this is going to be really useful for you because it really targets people who are using that. So let's actually get into Captain Chords and I'll show you a bit of how it works. All right, that's enough of going through all the PR spiel that they're trying to tell you. How does it actually work in the real world? So let's bring it up and let's pick a key. One sec, let me see what key we want to go with. So I'm gonna go with C minor. get that C minor harmonic, C harmonic minor. There we go. And you've got, by the way, you've got a variety of different, you know, keys you can go with. You can go major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, that sort of stuff. I generally go with harmonic minor or normal minor or melodic minor. That's generally how I write my songs. So we're gonna start with this, and the way this works is you'll write your chord progression in here, and then you'll drag it to your, you know, your track of your choice, whatever VST you're using, or you could actually output this specific MIDI data to your VSTs from this this plugin, but I don't really do that because it just seems a little bit long. I'd rather just drag the MIDI in and then be able to edit it whenever I want to and all that sort of stuff. So let's come up with a chord progression. Now there are a few chord progressions in here, but I honestly don't really like them. Like, it doesn't have a lot of great chord progressions as far as I know, which is unfortunate. I would have expected them to like just have a bunch of commonly used chord progressions, but I don't really find that to be the case in here. So you really just got to come up with your own thing. Now, in order to make this chord progression, I'm going to be using a chord progression map. I don't know if you can see that, but what this does is it just makes it easier for you to come up with chord progressions. I've also got a list of common chord progressions. Now we could just start with 2, 5, 1, but I already made a song using that yesterday. So let's go with, let's start with 1. Let's see how this sounds. Let's also go to song. Let's bring the tempo down to 1, 2, 5. All right, okay. We'll also add a 7th to this, and we'll change the complexity and add that to 5, which gives us the bass note, which I like to do with my chords. And because we're doing R&B, we want to use the 7th note. So we'll start at 1, and then let's try out a chord. Let's see what we want to do. Maybe we want to go 3. Let's hear how that. Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That sounds a bit ominous. Sounds a bit ominous. So we're at 3. Now, using this chord chart, I will make a downloadable pack for music theory that will help you out, which will have the progression map and common chord progressions and that sort of stuff in there. But from 3, we're gonna go to 4. We could go to, no, let's go to 6. 1, 3, 6. And then we could bring another chord in there, or we could just leave it as a 3 chord progression. I'm not sure. We could go to the 7 here. Yeah, oh, that actually sounds quite nice. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. So let's fling a 7th on all these chords. Yeah, let's fling a 7th on this, and we'll fling a 7th on this. Now, the thing with Captain Chords is you could create, you know, a suspended 4th, all this sort of stuff. You can just play around with different types of chords. But I'm just gonna go really simple and just go for 7ths over here, and just keep it really, you know, easy to do. Let me actually take off the 7th and see what this is without the 7th, because I don't want these notes to be like right near each other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in to see what note this actually is. F, G. So, oh, my bad. Didn't want to do that. Now I forgot what this was. 3, I think it was. Let's actually listen to this before I edit this, because it might actually sound all right. Oh, that sounds disgusting. That really sounds bad. So let's get rid of that seventh. Where did that seventh go? Yeah, I do not want that seven in there. That seven sounds terrible. Okay, so now we've got our basic chord progression going. What we can do from here is we can basically change this so that these chords are strumming, so it sounds more realistic. And we can also, we can space them out a little bit so that it's not all the way through, but I think we're just going to leave it how it is. We can add some swing to it so that it's not on beat, but I think we'll strum it. And we can also change the chord rhythm so that it's basically a totally different rhythm. There's a bunch in here. You can go through the whole actual thing. They've got a lot. Ooh, it seems these are new. Let's actually check them out. So let's see what Come Here does. You can also click this record button and record your own rhythm. So I can go. And what I'm basically doing is just, you know, pressing a note, and then you can like record your own rhythm and that sort of stuff. But that came out actually terrible. Let's just keep it normal. I want long sustained chords, to be honest. Here, so let's go to done, and let's say give me long sustained chords, please. Oh, what is this? There we go. Back to long sustained chords, and we got it strummed a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. That's how I want it. So I believe I can just cut it where I want to. So let's zoom in a little bit. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, and I also want it to be longer. Yeah, there we go. And we can change the sound presets so we kind of get something more akin to what it's going to be eventually. Now with this, you could use the actual presets in Captain Chords. I don't do that, but you can. So let's hear what this sounds like. Okay, I'm probably just gonna forget what I just did, so I'm gonna try and get to the melody as soon as possible, but I do want to show you a few more things around Captain Chords. We do have these features that allow you to minimize the leap, which basically keeps the chords as close together as possible, which makes it more realistic. It's something that a piano player could actually play. This actually makes your chords sound better as well. And if you didn't want to do this, you could change it to your first inversion, second inversion, all that sort of stuff, or the default triad. I generally keep it on minimize leap because that just sounds the best. And yeah, we could do a little bit more here, but I think this is more than enough. we could, as I said, you can do the VST output and all that sort of stuff. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring this MIDI data into our main melody pad instrument, which is just FL keys, and then I'll change this into Omnisphere, and let's make this a little shorter. And we can also, now we can move on to Captain Melody basically. So let's actually bring this back up. We need to go to play in order to basically make sure that this doesn't play out loud, because it will continue to play. And let me quickly show you how this works. Now with the play, I believe this is, they've also got a plug-in version of this called Captain Play, but I never bring that up. I would use the play feature within Captain Chords basically. And what this does is it allows you to play through, you know, different chords with your MIDI keyboard. So I can start at C, and that'll be the C minor chord, and then I can go to D sharp, and D is both the second chord, and then, you know, actually that's C sharp. D sharp is now the third chord, and then F is the fourth chord. So is proper F, and then, you know, you could just move throughout these and get to the different chords that you want to hear. And this makes it easier if you're not really good at playing piano, or you don't know what notes are in each chord, or you just want to try out the different chords without, you know, going into this thing and picking the chords. You want to be able to hear what they sound like and just maybe freestyle something. For example, if we just went over here now and I wanted to test something out, I could just go. But honestly, I would never use this preset. I'd use a piano preset, because then you can actually hear all the tonalities and you can hear what it's actually sounding like. With this preset, it's very, very difficult to hear what's supposed to be going on. So let's actually bring in, you know, a normal piano real quick. Let's see what this sounds. Let's go. What's the trap piano sound? Okay, that sounds pretty good. So, oh, why did you do that to me? Give me the trap piano, man. You go press OK. So, you can just move around the MIDI keyboard and find the right chords for you for whatever song you're trying to make. And you can actually go through the computer keyboard, as I was saying before. If you don't have a MIDI keyboard at all, this is a great plugin to have, because it makes it really, really easy for you to play the different chords. So we can just go with the normal. I think I would generally go with the seventh chords. So we'd go like Q, this is Q, R, T, W. And it just makes it really, really easy for you to play the different chords. But that's enough of that. Now I've totally forgot the melody that I was going to deal with before. So we're just going to have to start from the beginning. I hope for the best, hope that I remember or come up with something good. Let's bring up the Captain plugins page again and see what they're saying. Captain plays what I basically just showed you. You can play 4 octaves of notes in any key and scale. You can move the octave up, all that sort of stuff. And it always plays the right MIDI notes in scale, which is great. So you're never going to be out of key. You're never going to play a note that sounds super wrong. As soon as you pick the key, when you go into Captain Chords or Captain Melodies or Captain whatever, everything's going to sound right. Now, if you pick a crappy chord progression, then that's on you, but it's all going to be in scale. So it also helps you with coming up with melodies because, you know, it's easier to make sure that everything is in scale when you're making your melodies. You can play complex chords with one key press. You can make your own melodies and chord progressions with your fingers, no presets needed. And as I showed you, you can go through, you know, different types of chords. You can maybe do a suspended fourth chord, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you have no idea what that chord is, which when I started using this, I didn't know what that is. I still aren't 100% sure what exactly that chord is. Like if I really wanted to know, I'd find out. But with Captain Chords, I can just be like, let me try a suspended fourth chord at this point and see what happens, which can give you a nice interesting sound. Now Captain Melody is what I'm going to be looking at next. Now the way this works is the Captain Chords plugins work together, they connect together. So when you write a chord progression and you connect Captain Melody, it will try to create a melody that suits your chord progression. And you can apply different rhythms, you can apply arpeggiators that move your MIDI notes. I don't know, you know, what that, I think that will just arpeggiate the chords that you have, and you can adjust the tension between chords and melody. The way they're telling you it is a bit weird compared to how it actually works. I'll show you how that works. It works way better than the way that they're trying to tell you. And you can hear the melody played with 100+ sounds, which, you know, they've got a bunch of sounds, but really I doubt you're going to be using the sounds in this plugin unless you don't have access to a bunch of good sounds. Then this plugin is going to be great for you and you're probably going to use those sounds. So let's quickly just make sure that Captain Chords isn't actually playing in the background. Okay, good. So I'm gonna clone this so that we have two FL keys here so that I can just change this to whatever instrument I want to at a moment's notice. And then I'm gonna bring up Captain Melody. Now, let's actually get rid of this and let's open it up again. Now when I open it up, I think it will just be connected to Captain Chords and it will have the right key there. Yeah, see, it comes up with the right key that's already been inputted into Captain Chords. I've already seen this tutorial, so I'm not going to do that, but we are going to connect it so that it has the right chords, the chord data there. Now with this, what you can do is you can actually record the rhythm that you want for these chords. So I can just hit record. And what I'll do is I'll just record one note. So maybe, I think we're in C minor. So I'll just record C and we'll just record that along in the right rhythm. And then we'll go into the Captain Melody and then change around where the notes are going to be. And the way this works is really, really nice. It gives you a lot of visual representation of what kind of feeling you're going to get, what kind of tension, all that sort of stuff. So I really enjoyed that. And again, you can just use a keyboard if you don't have a MIDI keyboard like I'm using. So let's just play this. So I can loop this back a little bit before I start recording. Okay, this is all just out of time, not what I wanted at all. So let's get rid of that. Goodbye. Okay. I don't know if it's because I'm recording that is so out of sync, because usually it's not this out of sync, to be honest. So this isn't really doing great for me because it's so out of sync. So I want this over there. Okay, that's kind of what I want. Okay, good enough. Now what we can do is we can, I should have applied the metronome, to be honest. I usually do that, but we can quantize it to wherever we want it to be. And then I don't know why it's not letting me hit the done button. I guess it's because it's just, yeah, because it's just in there. Usually you need to hit done and everything will be grayed out. But now what you got to do is press this and turn this into an idea. So now I've actually created an idea over here, and now I can basically just make it go in whatever, you know, I can make it go up and down and up, just up. I can set the percentage of how many steps it's going to go up, how many times it just leaps, which means it's going to go more than one step, I believe. I can update the shape. I can continue to do this until I get a kind of sound that I want. I can choose what the first note of the melody is going to be. Honestly, I don't even know what I want the first note to be, but let's start with C. And I can you go to the lanes, which basically allows you to choose how often a certain note is played. So the way this works, let's get into a little bit of explanation. The way this works is the colors represent the different tension between the notes. So yellow is a little tense, I believe red is very tense, blue is not that tense, and green is a little tense as well. So it'll go from blue, then green, then yellow, then red, as far as I remember. And what we can do here is where's the thing where it shows me the root notes and all that sort of stuff? Ah, it's here. Here's where you see all the tension and all that sort of stuff. So here you can see what's going to be like super tense and all that sort of stuff. You can see what's going on here. But let's just play this back and see what kind of melody we've got right now. I want to bring all of this up, and I don't like, let's not do that. I don't like these notes, so we're going to move this around. Dun, dun, dun. I don't really like this, to be honest. Let's randomize it a little bit more. Whoa, didn't want to do that. randomizes my whole thing. Let's change the, we don't want to change the rhythm, but we do want to change, let's change the shape a little bit. Oh, I like this. I want something like, and the tension that I was talking about before, you can basically see how tense it is over here. As I said, blue is the least tense, then green's a little bit more, yellow's more than that, then we got green, blue, green, and then we've got red at the end, which makes it super tense, and then it rolls back around to the blue. Now what we can do with this is we can just duplicate this, which we should also duplicate these chords so that it moves along with the whole thing. What you could do actually, which what I would suggest you do with chords, if you're gonna do like a full 8-bar rhythm, you could switch it up a little bit, maybe make one of these chords now a suspended second or whatnot, which we might actually do. We might actually go in here, go in Captain Chords and do that. So what we can do here is we can, wow, let me do that. We can duplicate this whole thing. Maybe make this a suspended fourth. Doesn't is it working? Because it looks like the exact same chord to me. What is going on here? Usually it will change. See, that changed. I don't know what just went on there. Let's undo it, because that's weird. Because this whole thing is changing to some next thing. Redo the duplication, and now there we go. So you got to actually click the box. So we could also still have the 7th, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. Don't like that. Maybe suspend a second. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna change this chord instead, the third chord. And see what that sounds like. I don't like that either. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it as what it was before, because all these changes just don't sound right to me. So we're gonna leave that. We're just gonna leave that and keep that all the way, like the same thing all the way through. Remember, we've got to push that to play. And then with Captain Melody, what we're going to do is we're going to change a little bit of the second bar. We're going to keep most of it the same so that it's got repetitiveness to it, so that it can be as catchy as possible. Let's go to pattern. That sounds. Okay, pretty nice. And look at how much work I did to get this melody. Not much. Not much work, to be honest. So that's what I like about Captain Chords. It makes it really, really easy for you to come up with some stuff and just get it rolling. And then now we're just at the sound selection part. So let me actually save this, because I might use this, you never know. Save. What is this? I think this is C harmonic minor, 24th. So we got a melody, we got chords. Captain Deep is the next thing. I don't really use it, so I don't really want to get into it and try to give you an opinion of it. I'm not good at creating bass lines, because I generally just, use 808s and whatnot, or just have a long sustained bass line that just has a little bit of variation. I'm not a bass line pro, so I really can't talk on, if it's good or not. But let me quickly just do some sound selection, then we'll talk about pricing and talk about whether it's worth it or not. So let me replace this with Omnisphere. I'll come back when I've made the sound selection and let you hear everything back in. Okay, so I'm back. I just did some sound selection. I created a very, very quick beat. I haven't even added 808s or anything, so bear with it. But here's what it sounds like. I did bounce these out and pitch them down, which I like, because it gives it a bit better texture, the texture that I'm going for, like that mid ambient vibe. So if that's something you wanted to do, then definitely I suggest watching. I will be making R&B, how to make an R&B beat tutorials and stuff. Look out for that. But this is what the product that I've just made sounds like. Okay, that's enough. So that is basically Captain Chords or Captain Plugins in a nutshell. It made it really, really easy for me to come up with a chord progression and melody. Now, it didn't do it for me. As you saw, it didn't do it for me. I still had to use my brain. I still had to use my own creative juices to get to that point. But it did make the process easier and made it quicker for me to get there, basically. So the price on this is $79 at the time of me looking at it. and I believe that's around £60 in GBP, which is what I use. And to me, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it because it will save you a lot of time, especially if you don't know how to use different chords and all that sort of stuff. If you're not good at music theory, you're not good at coming up with your own chord progressions, then this is really going to help you out a lot, and you're going to find a lot of use from it. However, if you know how to come up with chords, you've been making melodies for a few years, and you don't really see a lot of benefit to this, then it might not be worth it. Now, to be honest, I purchased this because I'm looking forward to all the other plugins that they're going to be coming out with, and I thought, you know, I might as well just buy in now. And I felt like this would speed up my production in terms of creating samples and that sort of stuff. And really, I do find myself just using the piano roll a lot because I've learned a lot more about music production and music theory and that sort of stuff. So I'm not getting a lot of use out of it right about now, but I do think it was worth the money. Like, I don't ever feel like, wow, that was a waste of money, like I do with other plugins. But honestly, at this point in the beat, I just add some exhale or contact, whatever. I think it's exhale from output, and maybe an up using the same chord progression as before, and maybe add some relative chords, like either relative minor or relative major chords for a bridge or breakdown, and then basically the beat's done. And this basically took about an hour. I'm 43 minutes into this video. I don't know how much I'm going to edit it down because honestly there wasn't a lot of fluff. I just basically showed you me basically making a beat with Captain Chords, and it's very, very straightforward, and it's very easy if you got some sort of direction. Now, the thing that I am really disappointed with is the lack of chord progressions that I like within the actual Captain Chords plugin. I wish they added more chord progressions in there. Maybe I can contact them and ask them to add chord progressions that I like. Hopefully we could do that. Maybe I'll come up with like a bunch of chord progressions, a bunch of different MIDIs, and send that over to them and be like, okay, please get this in there, please, because this will help a lot of people out, because I just don't like the progressions that they have in there. I feel like if they had that and they had more starting points for you to just basically get started and be like, okay, I'm just gonna pick this chord progression and go from there, then it would be a no-brainer. I would say definitely go get this ASAP. But because you still really have to figure out the chord progressions for yourself, it makes it a bit of a harder sell for me. But the Captain Melody stuff is great because it just makes it way easier for you to basically create a melody. And I'm unsure if I showed you or told you, but when you're actually moving around stuff in the Captain Melody plugin, everything's in scale, so you can just put a note anywhere and it will automatically be in the right scale. It only shows you notes in the correct scale, so you just place it where you want and it will basically just be in the right place. So it makes it a lot easier than maybe using the normal piano roll. But if you've watched my video on how to always stay in key, easy music theory hack, then you can use the piano roll in FL Studio to do that as well. But this is great because it allows you to just update your melodies and get like 7 different melodies really quickly and be like, I do like that, or no, I don't like that, or let me change this around, that sounds okay, I like those, like that relation or whatnot. So it allows you to come up with a lot of different melodies really quickly, which I do really like, and I do think that is worth the price of admission because you're saving a lot of time doing that. So really, you need to think, if your music theory skills are super low, this is definitely worth it. Go get it ASAP. If your music theory skills are pretty good, then it's a little bit more of a hard sell. You need to think about it a little bit more. Maybe seeing what I just did with it has persuaded you to go get it. Maybe it hasn't. There will be a link down below in the description below for you to go and grab the Captain plugins if you want. And remember, You know, if you aren't great at music theory, you can download my free loops from jcartray.com/free loops, and you can go and put those to use in your next production and get some music going up and running very, very quickly. My question of the day is, what music theory plugins do you use right now, or what music theory plugins have you been looking at and you'd like me to review? Let me know in the comment section down below. I do really want to put out as much music theory content and tutorials as possible to basically get you the understanding that you need in order to make music, because you know, this is what I needed when I first started out, and it's great to have all this information in one place. So as much as I can give to you, I'm going to be giving that to you, and hopefully I can showcase as many plugins that help you with the process as possible. But let me know what you've been using or what you're thinking about using in the comment section down below. It'd be really interesting to see what the rest of the community is already on, or what you're thinking about maybe trying out. Now, in the next video, you'll learn more about music, online marketing, or online business. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Peace out.